It's time for Lumberjacks!
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
We're here on the campus of Sir Sanford Fleming College for the 35th annual Fleming Loggersports competition, an annual event held every year the first Saturday in November. We have 22 teams from 7 different colleges and universities from across Eastern Canada competing in singles events, doubles events, and teams events. Last week we had a great start to the competition. Let's see what happens this week. Well, it's always great coming back to this annual tradition, also called the Fall Classic here in Lindsay. The weather can be a little bit iffy today. We got a little bit of a chill in the air, but we've got a couple hundred students participating in all kinds of events. Last week we had a great start to the competition with McGill leading the way in the overall standings in the women's division with a 13-point edge over University of New Brunswick. In the men's division, once again we have a UNB team there, but they're in second place. Leading the way in the men's division is Dalhousie University from Truro, Nova Scotia with 525 points. This particular doubles event is a standing block chop. We're going to be showing you the top 4 heats. His first heat, Dalhousie University's M2 team, featuring a couple of guys relatively new in the sport, first time on the stage.
Yeah, Tien Carmen here, cutting first for Dalhousie's men's 2 team. He's going to cut 50% through the front of this block, 50% through the back, and then turn it over to his partner, Colton Cleveland.
Certainly one of the keys in any kind of a chopping event is hitting your marks. These guys are relatively new in the sport, and you can certainly give them a little bit of credit for getting on here, but you can see that Tien is not hitting his marks. You got to use speed, strength, and accuracy. Right now, one of the key things that he's got to work on is his accuracy. Right there, he's making an attempt to put a couple of drivers in, making his way over to the backside. He's made his way halfway through the front side.
I know one of the best parts about lumberjack sports, especially at the collegiate ranks, is looking good while chopping good. And Tien is rocking that gold belt buckle right now over there, at least making the cut look good in that way, Bill.
Successful chopping involves speed, strength, and accuracy. This gentleman here has got to work on his accuracy. He's new in the sport. He's just learning the art of standing block chop. He's trying to drive things off right now, but you can see that he's really butchered up the wood. He drives things off, and here's Colton Cleveland working on his block of 8x8 timber.
Giant windmill swings coming down from the heavens in the front of this block here, Bill. He's going for the drivers right now, gonna make the turn.
Nice clean lines there for Colton compared to his partner. He's got to use his strength and his accuracy to his ability there right now, and then work on his speed a little bit. His stance is a little bit awkward. He should be leaning into the wood a little bit more, but this 8x8 timber is about to fall.
Yeah, he has taken this block's lunch money, and wow, what a cut for Dalhousie's men's 2 team.
And they set the bar at 1:32.87. Surely that's going to fall with 3 excellent teams still to come. We got the Fleming men 1 team coming up right now. We got Jordan in the green and white, and Tim, his partner, in the red there, fashionably dressed in the long underwear style chopping outfit, and they're going to take on the 8x8 timbers, starting with Tim Shaftsma.
Yeah, rocking the red long underwear, Bill. He's got 2 big opening blows. Wow, that wood is soft. Look at him almost to the middle already.
He's got a really wide opening face there, which is going to leave a little bit of work on the backside, but that's probably way too much wood to be cutting any necessary. It's going to slow him down a little bit as Tim is trying to drive things off in the back. One more chip to come out. A big glancing blow there. Another big glancing blow. He can't get his axe to stick in the wood.
Nope, that is reckless endangerment at its finest, Bill. He has got to find a way to control the nerves and get that block to come off. He's only got a couple inches of wood left, and one more hit should do it, and boom, there it is. Turning loose the dogs of Jordan Cheatham.
He's going at it with a feverish pace there, hitting his marks there until that one right there. A little bit wider than he wants to be. He's got to chip out a few more times, but once again, every time he misses his mark, he's got to take an extra swing of the axe. He's ready to drive things out from the backside now.
Yeah, we got to keep in mind, a lot of these guys are really young into this event. This event is one of the most technical, and wow, what a cut to finish it off. He is pumped.
They lower the time to beat by over 30 seconds. Tim, I noticed on your back cut, 3 or 4 glancing blows on your upcuts before taking things off. What happened on the glancing blows?
It scooped up on me because the handle was rolling in the back of my wrist, so that's what happened there. But I mean, we got through it, and still pretty good time.
And your backside as well. You took one last chip before you started driving things off? Things went pretty well on the backside?
Yeah, it smoothed out really good. The back cut was great. Just I got lucky with that last cut, and I thought I had 2 more cuts to go, 3, and it came off in a good chunk.
Okay, 2 more heats to go. We've now separated the pretenders from the contenders. Next heat is going to be the McGill University men's 1 team featuring Alex Doman and Matthew Bayon in this heat. Alex Doman is going to lead the way.
Alex Doman, impressive physique on the stand right now. We call this the woodchopper's physique. To be able to derive a lot of power with those hips. Look at him already throwing the drivers into this block.
He missed a couple of times there. That second driver probably wasn't as effective as it should have been. He's over on the backside right now, putting some drivers to try and break things off right now. He's got to reach over to the far side, and Alex Doman is down. Here goes Matthew Bayon.
Matthew Bayon now trying to make sure to keep that axe under control. You see he got a little antsy there off the start, turning loose the dogs of war onto this block. He's now made the turn onto his backside.
Once again, a wide open face over there on his front side, a flat-in cut in his backside right now. He's got to have more of an uppercut in the backside to put some drivers in.
Yeah, all sorts of mishits in this block. You got to go back and correct those mistakes to get these blocks to come off cleanly. It looks like he's going for the drives right now.
He's reaching over to the far wood to try and break things off, and he breaks out the block with a 57.24, lowering the time to beat. So we saw you chop there, and just tell me about your front side. A couple of frustrations?
Yeah, I missed my first couple of hits. They're not exactly where I wanted them to be. And my drivers on the first side as well, they're not exactly where I wanted them to be, so it took me a little more time to work on the outside. They're not exactly, weren't exactly placed exactly where I wanted them to be, so it took me a little more time.
And were you going a little bit too fast or trying to hit a little bit too hard? Just tell me, can you have an explanation for it?
Maybe a little bit too anxious. It's just the stress of being able to chop, of having to chop, and then just being really anxious, I guess.
And certainly, Dave, you mentioned it there. One of the keys to success in any kind of chopping event is going back and fixing your mistakes. Right now, the time to beat is 57.24, set by the McGill 1 team. This is the UNB 1 team, Patrick McMacken and Graham Green.
Yeah, here we go. 2 opening blows. Melon alert on the first stand here for McMacken. Already going for those driving blows, heading to the backside.
He certainly does have a melon there, but he's not hitting his marks. He was way higher than he wanted to be on the front side. Now he's lower. He's going to basically wood himself. And
oh, trouble in paradise. Split the handle. UNB almost had their own headless axeman.
And here's Patrick McMacken trying to break his wood off. His whole block split there. He got the job done, saved his life, handed over to Graham Green, and Graham Green a big glancing blow.
How would you like to be the next guy in line to chop after that? You saw Graham having a little bit of anxiousness now, glancing blows, but now he's just standing back and bludgeoning that thing. Wow, that should be the new time to beat.
And UNB is going to win the men's standing block chop. Probably a first. I've been covering lumberjack sports for a long time, but an axe landing on the back of your neck. Tell me about that.
Oh, it hit, once it hit the center and broke the axe, and when I went to go swing, it came around on me and ended up on the back of my neck.
Now, your backside in general, you really went low on it. That was you were missing your marks, and you had to make some corrections.
Sometimes you just get excited and you miss your mark, but it ended off well. Got the axe back and finished it off.
And Graham, a good, clean, steady pace for you. You got to be happy with that chop.
Yeah, I was happy. I was using a banana grind today. I was chopping quite nice. I wasn't quite happy with my front face. I should have got it done in around 5. My backside came off clean though, so I can't really complain.
And there it is, the standing block chop now complete with UNB men dominating the field, winning by 22 points over second place McGill and adding to their team totals. Hey, we're back here on the campus of Fleming College in the city of the Kawartha Lakes, also known as Lindsay, Ontario. Just before the show got started here at the Loggersports competition, I had a chance to talk to second-year forestry student Eric Butson.
I came to Fleming initially as an environmental technician diploma, but because Common Semester teaches the foundational aspects of all the programs at our school, I found that my passions lied with forestry. I think being outdoors is what I was after most, and forestry offers that. And as far as Loggersports goes, we're a big family here. We spend 2 hours a night, 4 times a week together practicing, and those long bus rides are really galvanizing, spending the 22 hours on the way to Nova Scotia is a really good experience to get to know one another.
Well, I went to Fleming College way back in the 80s, spent 18 years in Lindsay. A lot of camaraderie and bonding happens when you join a Loggersports team. There's all those practices, and of course those road trips and competitions are a great deal of fun and a lot of lifelong learning going on. We are heading into the women's underhand chop, where it's a doubles event. This first heat, you have McGill University take on University of New Brunswick. Tess Billings is leading the way for the UNB team.
Yeah, the biggest problem with this 6x6 underhand chop is standing on top of the log. You'll see here that some of these ladies have actually put additional platforms to be able to stand on top of this. You see they got their steel-toe boots, a lot of surface area for those ladies to stand on, and not a lot of log.
Well, like any chopping event, you can see the McGill team missing their marks. Tess Billing, her axe was driving through the wood. She was hitting her marks, and she's already made the handoff to Megan McKinley, who's well on her way through the first block.
Yeah, this is extraordinary wood. These ladies are making short work of it, driving in the front of that thing now. This is going to be an impressive time.
UNB is way out in front right now with Megan McKinley on her block. The McGill team is still working on their first block. Megan's starting to struggle a little bit and trying to chip things out. She's got to switch over to her right side to put some drivers in.
Now, this pattern that these ladies are trying to hit is a bottom-top, top-bottom hits in succession to get those chips removed out of these blocks. You see McKinley still whittling away at the backside of the block, and there it is. Wow, what a cut for UNB.
They come in with a time of 56 seconds. Okay, you did according to plan. I think you did a 6-hit front, and it looked like maybe 3 or 4 hits in the back. Tell me about your axe singing through that wood.
I went a little better than expected, actually. I had a nice soft block, so I was happy. It was good. Went well.
And my question for you is, how come the test over there wasn't saying take out one more chip? You were driving and driving and driving. Why didn't you take another chip?
It's just trying to concentrate on driving hard. I think from experience last time, I didn't drive fast enough, and this time, I tried to drive too fast.
And you didn't want to scream through her, take another chip?
You know what? I know how strong Megan is, and I thought she's going to drive that off there, so let her drive it.
Well, as we head into the final heat of the women's underhand chop, 56 seconds is the time to beat. This next heat, the Fleming 1 team taking on the Dalhousie University team. And Dave, you mentioned earlier that standing on the 6x6, you saw the difficulties that some of the women have. It's not a lot of surface area to keep your balance while you're swinging a razor-sharp axe.
No, it is not, Bill. Luckily, some of the ladies in this heat look a little bit more petite, maybe smaller footing. They don't have to have those big platforms on it. They're standing up on it. Melanie Porter right now bludgeoning away at the front side of this block, making short work of the front.
She's made her way over to the backside right there. Fleming is right with her. She should be taking her side. She loses her balance a little bit there. She's got to flip over to the backside. She put some drivers in.
You see the off-centered heart in that block. There's a lot of really soft wood in the bottom. It broke apart really easy for her. Here comes Rachel Beckers.
The Nova Scotia team is leading right now over the Fleming team. They're going to try and take down the time to beat us. 56 seconds set by the UNB team in the last heat.
Yeah, Dalhousie's not going to catch UNB if they cannot start meshing together those hits on this block. Here's Fleming now going for the drivers on their first block here. 1 or 2 more should do it, and they should transition on to catch up to DAC, and there it is, Fleming onto block number 2.
As the Nova Scotia team is ready to wrap things up here, they're not going to catch the New Brunswick team here right now, but Rachel Beckers has put the finishing touches on some drivers right there, and Nova Scotia ends with a 105.48, and the University of New Brunswick is going to win the underhand chop in the women's division. Who went first? Which one of you went first? You went first. You do a 1-and-1 on your front side as opposed to working a box. Is that something that's coached to you? You do 1 on the right, then 1 on the left?
Yeah, that's coached.
Can you tell me why you don't go straight into a 4-hit box?
I like being able to turn and have my feet placing right within the first 2 hits, I guess.
And take a chip out within 2 strokes.
Yeah.
And just tell me about your strategy, and did you stick to your strategy on that chop?
I hit hard. I'm little, so I really got to get that technique in there, and I think it went well.
How was your pattern? In terms of?
Me and Rachel have the same pattern. We always do top right and then do our round. Start our round that way.
I think at the backside there, you tried to drive off a little bit sooner than you wanted. You had to take 1 more chip out.
Yeah, decided to drive, and then I decided my bottom needed a bit more.
Well, just like they do in many of the chopping events, the University of New Brunswick women have dominated the underhand chop, winning by 14 points over Dalhousie University. Hey, welcome back to Lindsay, Ontario for the annual Loggersports competition here on the campus of Fleming College. Earlier before the break, we saw the women in the underhand chop. Now we are heading into the men's underhand chop, and we have 4 heats to show you. This first heat is going to be the McGill University men's 1 team.
Yeah, I got a fever, Bill, and the only cure is more underhand chop. Here we go. This is going to be all 8x8 trembling aspen, and these guys have brought some big axes to the party.
And they brought big axes. When you bring a big axe to an 8x8 trembling aspen, nice clean piece of wood, you shouldn't take too many hits. One of the keys to success in chopping is you go back and you fix your mistakes. That last glancing blow, he did not do that, but he made his turn over the backside anyway.
Yeah, it looks like he left himself a nice wall of wood, though, in the front, Bill, which means he should get it to drive cleanly. And here comes Philip here on stand number 2.
Philip Gauthier waking his way through on the second half of the McGill team right now. He's going fast and furious. He slipped off his log right there. I'm not sure. He may have turned a little bit too quick. Looks like he could have put a couple more drivers in there.
Yeah, he may have to stay after school. He didn't do all his homework on the front of that one. That could spell trouble for him here in the back of the log. Going for the drivers now. Slip City on the top of that block. It's only an 8x8, but there it is.
Coming in with a 50.68. I'm sure they're going to be a little bit disappointed with that. They fell off their blocks a number of different times. Phil Gauthier stepped off 3 times just towards the end there. Couldn't hit his marks, couldn't put his drivers in. I really think, Dave, he turned too early to the front side. You say it's not doing your homework.
Yeah, definitely didn't do his homework. He needed to reach down a little bit more in the front of that log to get that thing to sever when he initially wanted it to before he started slipping off that block. But here we go. Next heat, UNB, Zach Bernard and Devin Sanders.
Well, you can see Zach's right side there. He's well inside the lines that he's marked on his block. He makes a turn over the backside, maybe a little bit early. And Dave, you talk about doing your homework on the front side. Did he do his homework?
Definitely right down into the bottom of that. He was getting the toe of the axe wrapped right around. Should make these drives really clean for him, and there it is, turning Devin Sanders loose onto the next log.
And once again, slipping off his block there. It's only 8x8 timbers. Sometimes the guys have a hard time with their footings, but Devin Sanders is certainly making quick work of this wood as his axe is really penetrating.
Yeah, he slabbed off the other side. His footing's not sure, but whoa, he got it to come off anyway.
39.28 set a new standard in the underhand chop for the men. Guys, tell me about your strategy going into that. Did you stick to the strategy?
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, neither of us are the biggest or strongest guys here, so our strategy was to take it slow, hit our lines good, and hit with power, and we did just that.
And your front side, tell me how many strokes took in your front side.
I think it was around 6 or 7 on the front and a bit less on the back.
Axes were sinking?
Sinking very well.
Well, the 39.28 is in the books for the UNB men here in the men's underhand chop division. Come back after the break for 2 more fantastic heats. Now we're back here in Lindsay, Ontario on the campus of Fleming College for the 35th annual Loggersports competition, an annual event held every November, the first weekend. And we are halfway through the competition right now, halfway specifically through the men's underhand chop. We had 2 fantastic heats before the break, and a 39.28 is the time to beat set by the guys from University of New Brunswick. This next heat, we're going to watching the Dalhousie Agricultural College men's team here in the underhand chop. It's a doubles event, Dave, and they're chopping through 8x8 of trembling aspen.
Yeah, we have Connor Morse and Kyle Corsten stepping onto the logs right now. We've seen a lot of great logs here today. I expect more of the same in this heat.
Kyle Corsten moves into his wood. Oh, and a big chip that he's going to have to punch out there before making his way over to the other side. Puts a couple of drivers in, makes his way over to the other side. Looks like a textbook perfect front side.
Yeah, thankfully we're cutting aspen here this weekend and not white pine. With a knot in the front of that log, that would have been big trouble for that axe and probably cost them a lot of damage, but wow, what a cut on that first log.
Once again, a little bit of slipping off the log there right at the end of the cut. Kyle slipped off his log. Connor Morse inside his marked lines there. He makes his turn over to the backside. He's going to take out a couple of chips and put some drivers in on his right side.
Yeah, the log is not coming off cleanly. He didn't have a good wall of wood, but wow, he got it off anyway. What a cut.
36.53 puts them in the lead in the men's underhand chop. On your backside there, you decided to take 1 more chip out before you took some drivers. Took a couple of drivers, 1 more chip, and went back to driving things off.
Well, yeah, you don't want to overdo it, right? If you start driving too early and it's not there, you always have to go back for that chip. So it's better to be safe than sorry a lot of times. So if you get that chip and get that wood out, you're more likely to drive it off.
Log split, you almost lost your balance there?
It's hard to stay up there sometimes. You get the boots on and stuff, but I mean, you just got to stay focused, stay patient, make sure you stay on the wood.
And Connor, you were going against the Fleming guy next door there, and you started exact same time, but you blew him away.
Yeah, I heard them switch, and I was kind of getting nervous there. I was trying to hit as hard as I could to try to get ahead of him.
Well, you did that, and you had a great second half there, driving things off.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we got one more heat to go. It's the host team, the Fleming 1 men's team here in the Underhand Chop, 36.53. The time to beat set by the guys from Nova Scotia. Are they going to take it down? We're about to find out. Leading the way is Jordan Easton. He's going to be followed up by Eric Butson.
Yeah, these two power couple in the underhand here. We're gonna see if they can take down that last time of 36.53 seconds. Wow, they got the log to do it here in this first chop, Bill.
Just inside that knot there. He's got to hit his marks, though. You see on his left side, he's missing his marks. He puts a couple of drivers in. He makes his turn.
A lot of these athletes have never actually put a racing axe into their hands in these underhand chops with nice logs. And I think it kind of surprised him a little bit in the front side of that log, but there he goes on to Eric Butson.
Eric Butson making his way through his front side right now. Should only take him about 6 hits if he does it right. Puts a couple of drivers in, makes a turn on the left side.
That was a pirouette of beauty there by Butson. He's now whittling away through the backside of this log, trying to meet those lines in the front. He's got it broken the top, coming back for the bottom. He's got a lot of pesky bottom wood. One more hit should do it, and wham, there it is.
They come in with a 46.72. They got to be disappointed with that. Probably could have easily shaved off about 5 seconds out that time, but Fleming will still take a third place with 78 points, but dominating the men's underhand chop with 100 points and a 36.53 is Dalhousie University.
And our crown pivotal point is the McGill Women's 1 with a 2-minute and 59-second underhand chop, unfortunately knocking them out of the top 5.
Well, it did knock them out of the top 5, but in the overall standings, they still hold a 77-point lead over UNB as we head into next week's events. In the men's division, we got UNB just edging out Dalhousie in the overall standings by a 14-point lead.
Now our Lumberjacks of the day are actually Lumberjills, Megan McKinley and Tess Billings with their dominance in the underhand chop at 56 seconds.
And many thanks to the School of Environmental and Natural Resource Sciences for hosting this event for 35 straight years. Come back again next week when it'll be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
Most intercollegiate competitions and even some professional competitions, they cut through squared timber. This particular timber is trembling aspen. These logs here are all 8x8s. The men will chop and saw their way through 8x8s. The women will chop and saw their way through 6x6s. And it's fair for everybody. The bad news is there's a whole lot of waste wood over there created by the logs, which were squared up by a portable Wood-Mizer sawmill. More good news, someone is going to take that pile home and help heat their house this winter.